is on that shelf, but shorty, it's that jam. When it's just another throwback anthem, simple so much I can't even tell you what's the sample. I'm bringing bars back. Say it with your chest or have a heart attack. Y'all ain't got the heart for that, and I know I got the heart to match. I know niggas in the hood with extenders, pull dance and play limbo. You pull up, it's no memento, and this ain't for nothing but lately niggas moving slow, and I ain't even bluffing. These days I'm feeling like I'm David Ruffin. When it hit the fan, the world ain't spinning no more. It's on fire, hell froze over. Life closing in, you can't be sober for closure. I never sweat, I can't pull over. Hoodie on, they rob the game of his culture. Zip them up now, it's a baddie bag odor. Take the mask off, revealing they poser. My palm itching to go getting closer, but I'm very different. You can't imagine where I've been. I sleep through the noise, I can't rest when it's silent. I'm marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bowls and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how I'm going low. Put the team on my back, said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT, and they Mamba mode. Marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bowls and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how they going. Put my team on the back, said fuck.
I do not own the rights to this music.
Good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Figure how many weak shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This Pops. I just wanted to pop in real quick. Hey, play our words. Pops from Pop Gems. You know, coming up, we got Pop's perspective.
Let's tell you what it is, tell you what it ain't. Giving you the real, we'll never do the fake. Life is a gift, but sometimes we need guidance. Pop's perspective, always perfect timing. All that alignment. Yeah, he gon' drop them gems.
Pop's Gems.
You know he really him. It's something about his confidence to let you know he had to say.
You don't want to miss. Don't meet me there, beat me down. Pop's Perspective, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It is Monday. It is 8 p.m. Actually, 8:02. And I'm your boy Pops. This is Pops Gems. Welcome to Pop's Perspective. Another episode on a Monday, on a Memorial Monday. Happy Memorial Day. You know, that's kind of a oxymoron, kind of contradicting term. But nevertheless, let's do it the way we're supposed to do it, the way we know to do it. We give honor to God, who is the first in our life. Of course, without him, none of this would be possible. So we definitely thank God for another opportunity to come and share with you. And then, of course, I got a couple things that I want to get out the way. You've seen him here before. You've seen him many a time. Good friend of mine, childhood friend of mine, Mr. Juan Denmark. Today is his birthday. Definitely want to send a shout out from Pops, from Paulie, from Paul, from Pop's Perspective and Pop's Gems. Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday. We grew up together, he and I. And yeah, we celebrate birthdays in the same month. Isn't that something? So shout out to my friend Juan. Also, Miss Braylon Bishop, double congratulations on tomorrow night is her birthday, or tomorrow rather is her birthday. So definitely want to say a happy birthday to her. Gemini is in the building. Also, she just recently graduated from college, and she is on her way to be a full-fledged judge. I don't want to stop her at attorney. I want to say judge. You say what you want to say. This Pops, I'm speaking it into existence. So shout out to Braylon Bishop. We're going to have her on the show. She's going to come and talk about a couple things pertaining to the law. Always need to know what's good. And then also we want to have her again celebrate her birthday, enjoy her birthday. So thank you and shout out to Braylon. To Exotic Pops. Of course, if you ain't got your Exotic Pops, make sure you go get them. Shout out to them. Lefty_Global and Notorious True. They are very big supporters for Pop's Gems, and we definitely want to send a shout out to them and let them know that we support them, and we are definitely going to continue to shout them out because, like I said, they are good supporters of the show. All right. The B&B crew. The B&B crew. Definitely want to send a shout out to the B&B crew. Notorious True and Nate Bella. They over there doing their thing. They come on Tuesday nights right here on Instagram. I believe it's 8:30. So you want to check in with the B&B crew tomorrow. They're doing another artist. They good on them artists, man. They be coming up with, well, the artists they be having don't be no shabby people. Don't be no, local DJ type thing, which ain't nothing wrong with local DJs. Don't get offended. I'm just saying, they have some people that really have a story to tell how they climbed up that ladder. So definitely want to tune in to them. The Safe House, they're on sabbatical, for lack of better words, right now. But the Safe House 3, you can find them on Spotify. Definitely want to support them. My juice. I definitely want to support them and get them a listen. They're on Spotify and all the major platforms. The Safe House 3, you got B-Mac, Peanut, and Lefty_Global. They're over there. Good peoples. So you want to tune into them. Cozy Lifestyle is out there somewhere doing their thing. So you want to follow them. Let's see, Lottie Dottie. I think I've covered everybody. Am I my brother's keeper? Definitely got to bring that into play. Am I my brother's keeper? And again, I say it all the time. I designed this because there is a time when throughout the day you'll have somebody across your mind and you'll wonder how they're doing or something of that nature. But I mean on a positive note, because some people cross our mind and it's negative. But on a positive note, they've crossed their mind. And so what we want to do, what we've incorporated here at Pop's Gems and Pop's Perspective, is that for 10 seconds you just close your eyes and send out that energy so that people can definitely receive that. Okay, so I'll put my glasses on for it. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amen. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Amen. All right. Okay, so it is the setup. Make sure we was all working. There we go. All right. Well, my brothers and sisters, my I gotta send one more shout out. I almost forgot. I don't know how I could forget. All of my gemologists, to you, and you. Thank you so much. Each and every Monday night you tune in and you think it not robbery to tune in and follow Pops and support me when I'm not feeling well. I appreciate all of that. For those of you that are watching now or watching later, if you didn't catch the live broadcast, sincere thank you for all of you that take your time to support Pops, be it a pin, be it a shirt, be it just tuning in. We got a lot of great things coming up for you. I'm still working on the co-host. I know that kind of fell off a little bit, but nevertheless, I'm definitely going to have bring that, keep pursuing that. Like they say, we're going to say it till it's backwards. I'm getting a co-host until I got a co-host. All right. So we're working on that. What else I wanted to tell you? The Pop's Perspective is definitely going to be engaging more in association with what shall I say, helping people. And what I mean by that is I have at my fingertips a great resource of people that can get some help. Oh yeah, and by the way, shout out to Clear Minds. Brooke Bishop is the mental health counselor over there. But yeah, there's a lot going on that I feel we as a people need to hear about. And so we're definitely going to be focusing on credit. We're going to be focusing on, how to get your stuff in order, how to, get an LLC, how to get your license for that. Of course, we got the credit repair. The greatest credit repair people in the world have been on the show, Dave Cousins and Mr. Drake. So we have them at our fingertips. So we got a lot of things coming up for summer 2025. Now, that being said, I know a lot of you were expecting for Nelson, DJ C. Nell, as they call him. I call him Nelson. DJ C. Nell could not be here tonight. And Pops understands. Listen, let me tell you something about life and in business. When you have obligations that you have to meet, sometimes you have to make decisions on the fly. And so not making excuses for him, I completely understand. He will be here on the 9th. Tentatively, we're penciling him in because, as you know, or for those of you that know him, he's very busy. He got called to an engagement at the last minute, and so he couldn't get with us tonight. But Nelson is like family, Like I said, I call him Nelson. So it's not no love lost. Get the bag, son. Get the bag, because if you made whatever you made today was more than Pops could pay you to be here. But nevertheless, when you got obligations and responsibilities, family man, without telling you too much about what's going on with him, then of course you can't be mad when somebody chooses to support themselves. So please, ma'am, and please, sir, excuse him for me. He wanted to be here. He even called me. He was stressed out about it. He wanted to be here and he couldn't be here. But nevertheless, he'll be back on the 9th. Lady Jazz in the building. Hey, I still need my bala coquito, for my birthday coming up. Of course, I want it to be, yeah, we'll talk. If you know, you know. But, yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, I want to get me a bala coquito for my birthday. I know you got me. I know, daughter-in-law. Going to the chapel and I'm gonna get married. Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, Lady Jasmine, for those of you who don't know, that is my daughter-in-law. And so she got one foot on the broom and the other one getting ready to jump over. She right there. I gotta put my glasses on when I talk to her because her ring is blinding. It's just like she cut glass with that. What you mean? No scissors. Wow. Like a ninja. But yeah, that's my daughter-in-law. And she takes good care of my grandkids. So God bless her for that. Yeah, I don't care about, I care about my son, but he grown, he take care of himself. Take care of them babies, my babies. But I'm gonna have them on here one day too. Well, they're kind of shy. My older one is. The younger one should be on here quick. Grandpa. But anyway, right? Say yes if I'm right. Boy, I get Chunk on here and Chunk will take over the show. Give me the hat, Grandpa. But anyway, so we want to say thank you for that for Nelson. He'll be back on the 9th. And so what I wanted to talk about really briefly, it is Memorial Day weekend, or it's the celebration thereof. And so I wanted to set this preface straight. First and foremost, Memorial Day is for the people that have passed while in service, or they passed after their tour. They served and then they passed. So we remember those that have fallen. Veterans Day is when you remember the people that are still alive, that are serving or have served and are still alive. So I said, well, Memorial Day is not specifically or not only designed for military. And so I had to do, a thing about, I had to think about Memorial Day. And sometimes when we think about, memories, we always want to think about the good memories. We always want to remember the good things that happened. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm going somewhere, laying a foundation. So, when we look back, we always want to look at the good things, and we always want to remember, the happy times and this, that, and the other. And then when we get into tough situations, we tend to forget the past. And what I mean by that is bringing something to mind is different from looking back on it. If I could say it that way. And what I mean by that is when you bring something to mind, you're controlling it, you're bringing it to your mental. When you look back at something, you're fixing your focus on where that thing is. You're going to it, if you will. And so when you go through difficult situations in life, don't look at it, because again, this all boils down to what I've been dealing with since the foundation of the show is how you deal with self. Your attitude has to be an attitude of positivity. And what I mean by that is, instead of seeing the glass half empty being bad, think of it as, hey, it's half empty, I got room for more. Instead of, saying, oh, it's my glass is full. So now you can share and pour out on somebody. So when I said that when the things in life happen, you got to remember back in a way that will help you in the present situation. In other words, you don't want to be in one situation and you don't want to do that. Remember what happened last time, and it turns out to be negative. You don't want to remember like that. You want to, or you want to, even if you remember like that, you want to use that to say, you know what? I'm not going to allow myself to fall victim to that again. I'm going to use the lesson that was learned, because things in life happen for a reason. Things in life happen for a lesson, and till you pass the lesson, you're going to keep taking it over. Till you pass the test, rather, you're going to keep taking the lesson over and over and over and over again. You see what I'm saying? And or until you get sick and tired of that same thing, you're not gonna prompt to make a change. You're gonna make excuses as to why you don't want to tolerate it, but you're not gonna make a change. But once you get to the point where you're gonna make a change in a positive mindset, you say, okay, well, I know that driving from here all the way to say Kissimmee, I live in West Orlando, driving all the way to Kissimmee will roughly run me 3 gallons of gas. I'm just using round numbers. So if the last time I went, I only put 2 gallons and I ran out of gas and I had to wait for them to come and get me, yeah, that was a bad scenario. That was, oh gosh, and it was raining and this, that, and the other. However you want to paint the picture, yeah, that was a bad scenario. But when we use that as a catalyst to remember, so that it will serve us as a preventative action versus a negative action. And what I mean by that is saying, oh yeah, I ran out of gas, I only put 2, let me put 4, or let me put 3. You want to put more. So you learned the lesson from only putting 2 gallons of gas and running out. So something positive came out of that negative. What was the positive? The positive was you learned how much gas you needed to get from point A to point B. And you did it in a way where now you won't run out of gas anymore, because you'll make sure that you have enough gas. And you could use any analogy you want. But what I'm trying to say is, too many times we go through life and we don't want to look back on the things that happened or because of what happened, but we got to look back and see how we got out of that scenario. Because trust me, there's something in that lesson that's going to help you get out of this next one. I'm going to say it again. There's something in your past that happened, that you endured, that you overcame, that you sustained, that you superseded, okay, that you bound, that's similar to what you're going through now. And even if it's not, that didn't break you. And you got to understand, what don't break you, only what makes you stronger. Because you learn, or you should learn from it. Let me say it that way. You should learn from it. Let me give you a case in point. If you know the stove is, the pot on the stove is a cast iron pot and it's hot, and the first time you grabbed it and you burnt yourself, okay, it's an accident. You didn't know. But now that you know, if you continue to grab that same iron cast frying pan without some kind of protection, you didn't learn the lesson that heat hurts. You're going to get burnt. You understand what I'm saying? So why common sense, which is really not that common, Naybella in the building, I see you. Caesars, I see you when you join. But why, if you know that cast iron skillet is hot and you have the resources available to prevent yourself from getting burnt, why would you not use the lesson that you learned? That is hot. I got scars to prove it. I learned my lesson. You've ever heard people say that? Oh, not me. I'm not going to do that. I learned my lesson. It's like people that, and I'm not picking on you, Nate, I don't remember, but like even with my daughter, can't swim. You learned your lesson not to go into the deep end. Last time you couldn't be cute no more. You weren't worried about a weave. You weren't worried about a makeup. You wanted to get to safety. If it happened that way, I'm just being funny. But you have to know your limitations. You have to know, what it is, that environment that you're in. The frying pan is hot. That calls for a glove, something that's going to protect you from that heat. And when we go through life, we have to look back and see the lesson. I tell, and Caesar's in here, Quinny the Pooh, they in here, I talk to them all the time. I tell them, listen, GPS was designed so that you didn't have to go down that dead end road. They went down it for you. Back in the day, we used to use maps. It was harder because if the map wasn't updated, we'd run into dead end roads. Well, we've learned a lesson from that. Now we have what they call, now there's GPS. And GPS will tell you now. So if you choose not to listen to something that's already been where you're going, that's on you if you get lost. That's on you if you run into a dead end, because it was paved out for you. And I know maybe that's not the greatest instruction, because sometimes GPS sucks. But I said it. But what I'm saying is, if somebody tells you something, and they have the wisdom and the knowledge behind it, and they speak to you in sincerity, and you can validate their authenticity and credibility, why would you want to do something unless you're just hard-headed and you got to see for yourself? There's always signs. There's always signs. There's always signs. And if you can't see the sign, ask for the sign. Too many times we want to go through life and just, like, as soon as we get a brand new game. I remember my son used to get games, and we used to, I remember one time we was playing a thing called Siphon Filter. And we was playing Siphon Filter, and we was all taking turns. We got so many level. And then he got on and he was just going. And I'm like, how you get so far? How you know it's that? I used the cheat codes. I looked it up. I found out where everything was. And that's what we got to do in life. We got to not so much use the cheat codes, don't get me wrong, but we got to get everything that we can to help us overcome what we're taking. And 90% of the ammunition and 90% of the stuff that we need is something that's already happened to us in the past. Some kind of way. Something. They talked about, with the military, they talked about PTSD, and they talked about, what is that? It stands for post-traumatic something syndrome, something, but it deals with BB in the building, Mr. McCall. It deals with post PTSD, deals with things that have happened to you in the past, and then when you see something that's associated with it, it triggers you and it sends you into what I call anxiety attacks, or you lose. So we can't We can't go through life and continue to avoid triggers. We have to be conscious of what our triggers are, because if we don't, we'll lose control, and more so if we allow our enemies to know our triggers. You ever had somebody that knows you and knows your pet peeve and plays on your pet peeve just to get a rise out of you, and that's enjoyment for them? I know that sounds kind of malicious, but it's like people purposely getting on your nerves. Don't think that everybody that gets on your nerves is just because they're just getting on your nerves. Some of them get pleasure out of getting on your nerves because they've studied you and they know that if they do that one thing, it's going to make you have an all set day. So you got to recognize your trigger and be smart enough to where if you can't withstand while you're in it, get away from it so that you don't act out of character. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take you out of character. Then you're going to be apologizing because you did something that you really didn't want to do. But all that comes in remembering. Yeah, that's a quick way to get cut off, right? All that comes from remembering that when you're in certain areas, certain things will make you act out of character. So you learn to avoid those areas. There's so much that deals with the memory memory lane. Sometimes we got to remember, when we were faced up against the wall, when our back or when our back was up against the wall and we didn't have any alternative and we didn't know how we was going to make it through. And just remember that scenario was not as bad as the scenario that you're in right now, and you made it through that one because you're here for this one. So some things we over stress about, and I'm not saying leave it alone, it'll work itself out. Give it its due diligence, but don't let it rob you. Because I keep telling you, and I say this all the time is a precious commodity that you cannot get back. You can't get it back. Time is more valuable than money. You can get money back. You ever been broke and come up? You can get money back. But you can't get time back. And so why are you going to allow yourself to waste time at other people's, at the expense of yourself for other people? And that's a broad spectrum right there. Why are you going to waste the time that's been allotted you or you're going to live at the expense of other people? Why are you going to spend all the time that you've been given? Because we all have an expiration date. And you know what happens? The closer things get to the expiration date, the more you want to use them because they're going to expire and they're not going to be any good. So the more time that or not the more time, or the time that we have, we want to enjoy. We want it to be remembered in a positive way. Yeah, you're going to have things that happen, but you don't want to subject yourself purposely to things that are going to make you waste time. So just wanted to stop in for a little bit on Memorial Day. I kind of figured it was going to be a little thin, but it's okay. Like I said, Nelson will be back on the 9th. He had a last minute engagement. I'm glad to see that we have part of the Safe House 3 in the building. They're on sabbatical. They're coming back. We have a half of the B&B crew. They'll be here tomorrow night with their guests. But let me say this. When you think about the past, think of it in such a way of how it can benefit your future. Get the most out of it. It's like that last French fry in the bag. Think about what happened that you can use as a catalyst to propel you into a more pleasant future. And I guarantee you, when you start avoiding things that make you ill-natured or feel negative, you'll be a lot happier person. But that only comes from self-acknowledgement, self-understanding, self-awareness, and knowing what demons you're fighting, because not everybody that you're fighting is a fleshly person. Sometimes you're fighting with that voice in your head. We can go deep. And so, the challenges that you have every day, because, I don't know about y'all, but it takes a lot to keep Pops in control. And what I mean by that is there's times that I want to say things or do things that are not conducive at that moment. And because of my experience, because of the outcome that has happened in times past, when I may have done something similar or equal to, didn't turn out right, I've learned to restrain myself. Does that mean I'm soft? Does that mean I'm weak? No, that means I'm mature and I'm wise. And I know, what the outcome is going to be if I take, if I choose door number 1, or I could trade behind those door number 2. You know what I'm saying? I know what's behind door number 1. I'm gonna stay where it's safe, because I don't have time for foolishness. I don't have time to waste, have an expiration date. And it's funny, I'll say this, and I'm getting ready to let y'all go. When we're young, we rush to get old. I mean, you couldn't wait to be 18. You couldn't wait to be 21. Couldn't wait to move out your parents' house. You couldn't wait, to grow up. And can't nobody tell me nothing. And then when you get older, you want to be young again. When I say older, there's a point in time where you're introduced to life, and you say, I want to go back. I wish I was in high school again. I wish I was back in my mom and daddy house. Don't rush it. Enjoy it. Savor it. Let it marinate. Enjoy. And know that every minute is being recorded. And what I mean by that is, what value are you getting out of what's been allotted to you? If somebody came to you and gave you $1 million and came back 3 months later and asked you, what did you do with the $1 million? And I'm not asking this is rhetorical, I'm making a point. If you don't have nothing to show for it, it's wasted money. Same concept with time. What value did you put back into time, so that when you look back on that memory, you can say, oh yeah, that hour I spent at the gym was well worth it. I'm in these size 38s now. That's just an example. Yeah, that time I spent, staying to myself helped me, because now I can control my tongue better, or whatever it is. We have to add value back to time, because we've been given it as a courtesy. Come on now. We've been given it as a courtesy. So the least that we can do is have something to show for it. It's just like, there's a lot of times you come into a piece of money and you blew it and this, that, and the other. You didn't have nothing to show for it. So, yeah, it was good for the moment. But long term, what do you have to show for it? So, I'm going to leave you with this. Remember that we all have an expiration date. Learn from your mistakes. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel, and know that the mistakes could have been, should be counted as positive, because you got them out the way. Don't do them no more. That's it, done. Find a hole in the wall, patch the hole, no more hole. Find a hole in the street, you fell down the hole the first time, get up, put a man cover on it, no more hole, keep moving. Versus getting up into, in life, and then you start looking back and you start regretting that you didn't have more, you didn't get more out of it. So, all right, next week we're going to talk about how well do you know your friends. How well do you know your friends? I'm going to have get some people on here to talk about that, because I'll leave you with this tidbit. Your co-workers are not your friends. They're your co-workers in the beginning, unless they go into friendship. So we're going to talk about what is friendship, how well do you know your friends. We're going to continue on. Like I said, on the 9th, let me see something. I think that's the 2nd. How well do you know your friends? On the 2nd, and then on the 9th, we'll have DJ C. Now will be in the building, and we'll be able to interview him. So I know it's a little short, but I thank you so much, all of you who tuned in. Share it, share it, share it. If you don't like what you see, go, if you didn't catch the whole thing and you like what you see, go to YouTube, at Pops Gems on YouTube. Don't forget, shout out to Seasons. Get your apparel at Seasons. Ladies in the chat, Lady Jasmine got Coquito for all you Orlando bound people. She got Coquito for sale. Check her page out. Save House 3, B&B Crew, all of you and you and you, all of my followers. Until next time, this your boy Pops. Thank you so much. We'll call it short. Go back, eat another plate of ribs, whatever that you cooked on today, and let's get ready for the work week. Till next week, it's your boy Pops. Peace.